Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Shaykh Rizwan Arastu, and I'm one of the teachers at Hawza Online. I'm slated this semester to teach a course on supplicatory texts, dua texts. The plan is to look particularly at Sahifah al-Sajjadiyah, and secondly at Mafatih al-Jinan, and going one step beyond Mafatih to the sources from which Mafatih draws. The goal is to become familiar with these texts. We should look at the contents. In the case of Mafatih al-Jinan, we need to look at the layout of the book and really get a sense of what all the book has to offer, how it's organized, and what was the purpose that the author had in mind when he compiled this particular book. And then we're going to look at the sources as well, because Mafatih al-Jinan draws on many important sources of dua, and so we want to look at those texts as well. Become familiar with the authors and the purposes for which those books were written, and again what they contain, and maybe what are the standards by which Shaykh Abbas Qummi chose certain texts out of those larger compendiums and included them into Mafatih al-Jinan. So part of the course is going to be looking at the text, the purpose that the author had, the layout of the book, but then we also want to engage in dua as a practice. Dua it's a script that we use to speak to Allah, and so we want to delve into the text itself and look at certain issues. There are certain theological issues about credibility. How do we know that a dua is authentic? Does it matter if it's authentic? What standards should we use? Oftentimes these questions arise in people's minds, and they think that, oh, maybe I shouldn't recite this dua because it's not authentic, or this and that. So we need to deal with that and understand what should our understanding be about the authenticity of these texts and the legitimacy of reciting them. And then, these texts are actually not just scripts that we're supposed to read and use as a way to do ibadah, but something beyond that. The texts are written by the best of human beings, people trained by Allah and Gabriel and Rasulullah himself, and we want to benefit from the content of the text as well. Right? So these texts are helping us to relate to Allah in the grandest sense of that term, to know who He is, who we are, and what our relationship should be. So we're going to look at the text in all of these different ways, inshallah, and grow, become familiar with one of our important treasures and primary sources, and inshallah become closer to Allah in the process. I look forward to engaging in these texts with you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.